Dance Arts of Columbia provides fitness fun for everyone from 3 years old to adult. Dance Arts is a good environment where the friendly staff makes you feel comfortable. Dance Arts feels that dance is an art form that you can experience firsthand by learning tap, jazz, modern, musical theater, lyrical, and ballet. Dance Arts urges you to enjoy a sense of accomplishment while getting fit and having fun. For class information, call 875-1569. Dance Arts of Columbia, serving Columbia since 1979.
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends. This is Monday. It's June the 2nd, only the second day of June. Wow. Before you know it, we'll be saying Merry Christmas to you, too. That's how fast time goes as you get older. But we got Vera Massey with us. Good to have you here, Vera.
Good morning.
Normally when you're on, or a lot of times when you're on, we talk about our mind and thinking positive and feeling good. Today, we're going to talk about feeling good with food.
Yes.
Right?
Well, you know, food is a highlight of our lives.
It is.
And we really want to have good, fresh food. And we're in sort of that fruit and vegetable season where maybe people have their own gardens or they're going to the farmers markets.
How's your garden doing?
It's doing good.
Yeah.
Enjoying my fresh lettuce and onions and watching
Yeah,
my green beans.
And I'm almost ready to pick my first tomato.
Oh, yeah, right.
No, it's true because, well, I put out about 32 tomato plants, but I always buy one what I call a cheater tomato. And I buy one that's pretty good size and it's got tomatoes on it already, and I'm ready to pick one.
Ooh, and I'll tell you what, tomatoes are great to eat fresh, but if you produce a lot of them, you've got to know what to do with them.
You preserve them.
Yes, and so I offer food preservation workshops every season, always have lots of people attend, and this helps people understand what the options are. So we can freeze things, we can dry things, we can can them, and you know, different skill sets and equipment is needed for all those different methods.
It used to be that was the way of life. You grew your vegetables, your and fruits in the summertime, and you preserve them for the winter time.
Yes.
That's the way I grew up with my mom.
We're finding more and more people because they're getting into gardening. Then a lot of people are wanting to preserve. And so what we want is people to use the most reliable methods so that it's safe and we don't have any problems with spoilage or botulism. And so even if you're not interested in canning, just learning some different techniques with freezing and drying.
So when is this class?
When is it?
Yeah.
It's in June. Classes will start next week.
Okay.
You can attend 1, 2, or 3. Again, one session is on freezing and drying. Another session is on water bath canning. We'll talk about making jams and jellies and salsas and pickles. And then another session is on pressure canning. That's what we have to do for all of our low-acid vegetables, like green beans and corn. So people can sign up for 1, 2, or all 3. And they have an opportunity to actually see me doing it, get involved with helping if they want, and always have samples. Okay. Samples are a big hit.
So how do they sign up for these classes?
Well, they will call the University Extension Center here in Boone County.
Okay, and the operators are standing by right now.
I tell you every time we do this, it's like, oh gosh, a lot of people.
Okay.
573-445-9792.
445-9792. So it's 573-445-9792. If you want to sign up for one of those 3 food preservation classes.
Yeah, hopefully we'll still have some openings in it. So that's one thing coming up, and food preservation is something that I've had people with no experience attend, and I've had people that have been doing all their lives. And when I do feedback from the classes, people say, wow, I thought I knew it all, but I learned something.
So things have changed over the years.
Some things have changed, and we're concerned sometimes when people make concoctions of things and decide they want to can it, and you have to be careful about the acid levels. So, you know, if you don't want to use a tested recipe, then freeze it or eat it fresh.
Okay.
But I do some things with drying, and in Missouri, because we have a high humidity, it's really best to have a food dehydrator. But tomatoes are great dried. Fruit leathers, not the kind that you think about buying at the store because they have all that extra sugar in it.
Do you do sun-dried tomatoes?
It's just tough to do it because of the humidity.
Yeah.
So I have a dehydrator, and I love to take those little cherry tomatoes and just cut them in half and dry them, and they are so sweet and good. And then sometimes I'll use it with some olive oil and some herbs and put it on some goat cheese, which is wonderful.
Oh, okay. So that's the way you don't do the sun-dried tomatoes then per se in the sun.
No, I use a dehydrator because it speeds the process along, and then I don't have to worry about the humidity.
But when you
in the bugs.
buy this is off the subject, but when you buy sun-dried tomatoes and they say sun-dried tomatoes in olive oil, are they really sun-dried tomatoes?
Maybe, possibly. We don't know. We don't really know. Out in California and Arizona, probably so.
Okay.
Probably so. Yeah.
All right.
But they would be dried, not in the olive oil. Would be added later.
Right. Exactly.
But
later.
they're dried foods are great.
All right, I got you off the subject.
No
All right,
worries.
now,
No worries.
Now what else have we got?
Okay, another program, and I talked about this earlier, is a program called Living the Mediterranean Way of Life.
Yeah.
And if we think about the Mediterranean, which I think I talked before, it's not just about the food, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about the food, and
Right,
that
about-
is, you know where we're going.
Right.
Yes, happy place. But, the Mediterranean diet really, at the core, are fresh fruits and vegetables,
Right.
eating in season. So it's going to be great to have this program in July. So we'll be taking...
Oh, so you're doing the Mediterranean diet program in July.
Yeah.
Okay,
the
and that same number, 445-9792.
Yeah, so there's two different programs,
Okay.
people. Got lots going on this
So
summer.
you got preserving in June, Mediterranean diet in July, 445-9792, and then what else?
Well, then the other thing that's coming up, the month of June in Colombia, there's a campaign called Eat Local Colombia. And this is where we're encouraging people to eat local. That could be encouraging you to preserve your foods that you've grown, farmers markets, going to restaurants that serve more local foods.
Right.
It's good for the economy. It's tasty. It's a great way to go.
And when you think about eating locally also, you're not using all that fuel to bring items in either.
And we're also giving more of that food dollar to our local producers if we are buying.
Yeah.
Because we spend a lot in transportation cost and trying to preserve them. So if they're fresh, we take them straight home.
I like to eat as local as possible. Right out in the garden, walk across the yard, pick the stuff off the vine and eat it.
I know, but if that's not an option for everyone, then maybe the farmers market. What one of the key things is we say if people could just get 10% of their foods local, just give it a try, or try something new. If you've never tried a different variety of tomato, give it a try. If you've never had a yellow tomato or a heirloom tomato, just
do it local.
Just do it.
And you know the other thing, when we're out of time here, Vera, but if you're listening and you say I don't have any space to grow a garden, just put some tomatoes in a pot.
Yes.
In the sunshine, water it every day,
Watch it grow.
and you got your tomatoes right outside your door.
Yep.
Vera, 445-9792 for more information to sign up.
On food preservation and Mediterranean diet.
Right. There's a bank of 100 operators waiting to hear from you right now. All right, let's see. Tomorrow, City of Columbia Recycling and MU Healthcare. Our program directed by Travis McMillan, Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio, Pat Akers from KBIA. Our floor director is Lowell Thomas, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.